they cut the mic off on me.
Oh.
And then I come back next month. They had a waiver for me to sign. They made a waiver. And it said, you will not curse. You will not talk about sex, drugs, this Pulp Fiction all that. I'm like, what do you want me to talk about?
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Hey, I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat.
Welcome to Unloading Meat. And if you're a fan of X-Men, I'll just let you know, my name is Jared Ralphie Allen. Remember it.
Remember it.
You haven't watched it, you don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, our guest today is a great comic, and I'm so glad that he's back in Oklahoma from doing a deployment, right?
Yep.
Give it up for the one, the only, Jesse Willett. What's up, Jesse?
Not much. This is it's like my second month back.
Nice. We totally haven't been talking off air for like 2 hours. You know, it's totally naturally an intro with the first time we've been meeting, right?
Yeah. It's been weird, like coming back straight into comedy because I wasn't able to do it for so long, for about a year almost, and this is like my last month over there, and I was like, when I get back, I'm gonna hit the ground running, and I did, and oh my god, I'm drained. It's been fun, but I'm at a point now where I'm working again. But I met so many new comics, Corey McKinkle, Kyle Fleming.
Yep. The good guys.
Z, they're all.
You just did 3 guys that I have on the show, right? Just recently too.
They're all funny, and seeing everyone, all, even the old people, all my friends that they've grown. Yeah. And I'm happy for them. A lot of events. Tulsa is blowing up bigger every year, and especially with comedy. It's all the music scene is gone insane. Like the fact that like Rocklahoma, you look at their lineup now compared to what it was like 8 years ago, huge difference. And so a lot of good talent in the area. I'm proud everyone's gotten better. Now I got to step up. I got to get my level up there.
Yeah, you said coming straight back was hard, and I just got to say, sometimes when I hop on Grindr, I get hard and then I come on straight backs.
That's
not cheating.
My meat. My meat.
But you got to get
Subscribe now.
It's been wild, trying to like being around like women again that are not affiliated with the military has been nice, and like I said, it's been busy. If you catch my drift, it's been very fucking busy.
Show us on the Sting doll where they touched you.
Well, no, like it's I'm talking to someone right now. A relationship is being brewed, and it's not necessarily nothing they're doing. It's just mainly for me because I'm trying. I've been out of America for a year. I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and you were made in America.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get my feet back planted down. And it's and I want to get back. I want to take my comedy route better than what Guns N' Roses did with their musical career.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do those Use Your Illusion albums. I'd rather keep my new
Chinese Democracy going for 15 years.
Yeah, like
Chinese Democracy was like the Duke Nukem fucking 3.
Music. Or like for me, like Weezer. The only album I love by them is the Blue Album, and everything else.
I'm a Weezer guy. I like Weezer.
I liked the Pinkerton a little bit, but it's just the Blue Album. They have not, for me, they have not been able.
They're
to.
Great. I saw them at BOK. I forgot about that. I saw Weezer at BOK a couple years ago, right before COVID. It was right before COVID.
Yeah.
And they did Pink Triangle from Pinkerton.
Right on.
And I love people that didn't like. Pink Triangle's about. I don't know if you know that song. Mm-hmm. Pink Triangle is the song about him like falling for a chick and then finding out she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And not realizing the pink triangle tattooed on her arm is fucking pussy. Like it's the first.
That makes me want to watch Chasing Amy.
Oh, I love Chasing Amy.
Yeah, that was very that movie saved Kevin Smith's career.
Yeah.
That
movie was made on $600,000.
Yeah, like they had a pretty decent cast.
Yeah.
Like Joey Laurel Adams, she was so good, and
he was fucking her at the time.
Yeah, the whole. That's another. I watched the director's cut of Clerks 2, and Brian O'Halloran's talking about. Yeah, you ever had your best friend film you kissing his wife? This is the wildest shit.
Yeah. Like, that's how I feel like James Gunn and Peacemaker. Like his wife is that blonde girl. Yeah. And she's making out with John Cena, and I'm like, Well, not really. Like, I think they kissed once, but it was nice. But like anyway, yeah, that's weird. No, like yeah, we were, I don't know. I brought up X-Men earlier. I found this at a vintage store like 2 days ago. It's an original Phoenix from 1994. Like this is the original one from the original X-Men box. And I was like, it was $8 they had it on sale, and I was like, really? Okay, still in the box. I'll grab it.
That ain't bad.
I mean, they're not worth a lot because they mass produce these figures. So like, it's kind of like the Star Wars like Episode 1 figures, where like you can go to any fucking vintage store, like vintage stock right now, and you can still see a wall of them, still in new boxes for like $5 each.
Yeah,
you can get like the whole set, like Darth Maul, Jar Jar, all of them.
I wish you could have been in Okinawa, Japan. There was a thrift store we would go to, and we were there. We were going to this place for about a year until finally we learned there was an escalator that went, and it was a anime store. Because anime is very huge, very huge. Even in Okinawa.
You're telling me that anime is big in Japan?
Well,
spoiler from a white dude's telling me this.
So Okinawa is different than mainland Japan. Okinawa is like the Hawaii for Japan, and it's a different vibe. It's very, very different vibe.
I played Yakuza. I know.
and this anime store, it was so badass, but I discovered it sadly right whenever I was getting close to leave, so I couldn't go as much as I wanted. But what I did buy, I bought a few T-shirts, bought some pants, and I bought some Japanese holographic limited edition Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because Yu-Gi-Oh was it, I felt it was written. It started out great, and then it had that Yu-Gi-Oh GT that kind of fucking ruined it.
Like I'll be honest, I'm not a big anime guy. I never was really raised with it, around it, or anything like that. So like Dragon Ball and stuff, I tried to get into it. I kind of it passed me by a little bit. Like I've tried. I even tried to play like, some of the games, and I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
The only anime that I was really in, I grew up around, was Digimon. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Digimon.
Yeah,
I loved Digimon, and they put all the series, and they're still making movies to this day with the original cast and everything from the same storyline to this day, and like full motion picture movies.
I think I'm gonna grab something to drink.
Ty?
Huh?
What are these things?
They're nothing. They're not mine. I'm just holding them for a friend.
If they're nothing, then let me see them.
Only grown-ups can look.
And it's all on Hulu and Peacock, and I started showing my 7-year-old it, so she loves Digimon now.
Yeah,
and so like we're kind of bonding over that, and like that's my one anime I still love. I love the Digimon kind of franchise.
Yeah, you gotta watch some of the older ones eventually. Like Cowboy Bebop was real.
I love Akira. Akira's a classic.
Yeah, they were really good. And Yu-Gi-Oh, it had potential to be something good. And the artwork they did for these characters, like I got slapped for the Sky Dragon tattooed on my thigh.
Nice.
Like they had some sexy ass looking monsters.
I'm probably gonna get a Digimon tattoo at some point. So I'm working on full sleeves, piece by piece. I have a Deadpool, I have Mr. Meeseeks. Like if it's funny or something like that, I'll have it. Completely busted through my arm.
Yeah.
I have a Green Power Ranger. Tommy was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was one of my inspirations to actually get this all launched. I love Tommy. I love Power Rangers.
Do you have the Psycho Rangers?
Right there.
Oh, dude, lucky. That was the first movie that I saw with them, and
see all the like the back.
Yeah, the fucking red one was cool. The sword he had, I thought that was and their armor's so badass. I always loved the look of a Psycho Ranger.
I have one loose, and it's the silver one.
Oh yeah.
So like you can see that like these detail were just figure. Like I love this. Like I'm a figure guy. So like during COVID, during COVID, that's how I pay for my bills. I lost my job at T-Mobile and I had no job, and so like during COVID, when everything was locked down, I started flipping figures. And like I would go through Targets and Walmarts and just buy like 2 or 3 of each thing, and I'd keep one and sell 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and I paid my bills, and that's what kind of built all this. Like all of this was just during the area like from COVID since.
Damn,
and kind of just built my displays, and this is what I kept myself entertained with.
Yeah,
and it was my hobby and stuff. And Galactus, and I got the hat. That's my most expensive is the Galactus. Those are HasLabs.
I believe, those are
the crowdfunding Marvel Legends that you can only get for like one time.
No, I've got a buddy. His father, he likes models, like the build your own kits at Hobby Lobby. This man has he's made a recreation of the D-Day at Normandy. Like,
shit!
He's like the bunkers. He's got the planes. I mean, it's like that Colonel and Chucky 2 or where he's at the 3 where he's at the military academy, the little display of a battlefield. Like he's got tanks made, and
that's kind of what I eventually want to do here. Corbett Corcoran, you brought him up earlier.
Yeah,
he has a big 3D printer. He actually made me that screw head. Like, I just had him on the show last week, and he made me this little thing as a gift. And it's like I keep changing it, but I'm gonna have him start making me some like set pieces and stuff like that. I kind of want to make some little dioramas in here, like make a danger room for X-Men. I want to make a big display for Spider-Man, and just kind of make some more stuff. And then Jace Kinzer's an electrician. He was going to help me run LED lights behind each one of them.
Oh yeah,
and light up each panel.
I love Jace. I just went and saw a Ministry with him. And
oh really?
he had I think he had a fractured hand.
He's a good guy.
And I'm like, Jace, like we're gonna be in the pit. He said no. I'm moving out the way. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm gonna grab this him by his hair and sling him in there. Like, think fast, Jace.
He's a sweet dude.
He is. He's really good. He's one of my first friends I met in Tulsa comedy.
Yeah, I had him on like season 2. Then like I think I have him scheduled for next week. He's gonna come back and do one. Like I just haven't seen him in a while. It's kind of why I enjoy this. Like it's like. We can talk to each other for 5 minutes at a bar. How much are we gonna get to know each other? But I got to see you for like an hour or two here, and like we become really good friends. In my opinion.
Yeah. Jace is he's been doing music.
Yeah.
He's playing bass, and he's into
Jace with the bass.
Yeah. He's putting a lot of time, energy into it. I haven't heard him play yet, but he's pretty passionate about it. You can tell when he describes his activities with it. So I was like, oh well. Like I said, maybe for intermission at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Like I told Nicolo and Dylan, I was like, y'all got a band?
Yeah.
Fuck, slap that shit, and they did. They put on an event. It wasn't a venue, but it was. I mean, it was still an event that they made. They made a little bit of money on. They had it made them trendy. It was something to promote themselves and show that they are doing something.
What I like to do to set the vibe is we watch a thing called Unusual Memes.
Okay.
And these are just a compilation. They put them out like every Tuesday. I highly suggest watching them. They're funny as hell.
Path.
Okay.
Have anything in your bag, ma'am? No. Any illegal contraband? Let me see.
Good. Serves her right. Oh my God. That's okay. I respect that. What the fuck? In the hell?
Oh shit!
I've been there before. Sounded like Juju.
Yeah. It's not racist, it was true. Oh my. That hurt my heart.
Oh dear God. What the fuck?
What the hell?
The fuck was that? Ah. That was just wrong.
Fucking pandas are so dramatic.
A little raccoon. Oh, what a bitch.
Whoa!
Oh, what a piece of shit. Oh. Oh, fuck.
The fire festival? Oh, no.
Došao sam da te ubijem. Eto dotle, opa.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
Yeah, what happens when you let go? Oh my goodness. What the fuck?
Yeah, buddy. So dramatic. Uh-oh. What? Oh, God. Dear God. It's going to fuck up your floor. Yeah, there we go. COVID. COVID. So stupid. Oh, here we go.
You need a ride? I'm fucking pissed off. All right.
Oh, that's fucking Tulsa if I've ever seen it.
Bro. Whoa.
Click on the wing. Yeah, so it focuses on the wing. Oh. No! On the screen!
Oh my god. 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 Oh my
Oh, this could only end badly.
Oh. Fuck. Schwarzenegger does shit like that. That's dangerous. Uh-oh. Oh. Ooh. No.
Oh.
Don't want that to happen. Oh! That was close. I do not want a copyright strike.
Is that Whistling Diesel?
I didn't want a copyright strike.
Shit.
Easy when you shut the fuck up.
Oh, God.
And sometimes the editing makes it funny, man.
Uh-oh. Is that sugar? I'll be beating that bastard with a newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Não é possível.
You need to plug something in the wall? I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
What the fuck?
I got you. I got you. Do you need to plug? Do you need to plug something?
What? Who did that house?
Hold on. Do you need to plug something in?
May I help you? Like, you got a problem?
Y por
Oh, I love this one. I've seen this
el punto
before.
de partida.
That's not a cup. That's just a cup holder.
El punto de partida no es un punto de partida. No es. Bueno, es complejo.
Oh, that.
And then they always end on an inspirational little nice note.
Kitty.
Yeah, like every Tuesday or Wednesday, they just put out a compilation like that, random shit.
I like what Tom Petty said about American Idol. He did not like the show because it's giving a false representation about what it's like trying to be successful in the entertainment industry. He was like, the Allman Brothers got arrested for this was when they first started, 1969. They had no money. They had enough money to get paid for gas for the next show and maybe buy some instruments. And they got arrested for stealing a goat to eat. They're eating the son of a bitch, you know. And the sheriff walked up. It's like Tom Petty's like, people don't know what about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
you got to put in some work.
Legit starving artist kind of shit.
Or like people look. I remember recently. I'm not gonna say names, but like Trevor got Trevor's opening up for Jesse Eckelnick or whatever. I forget. Anyway,
Anthony Jeselnik?
Yeah, Anthony Jeselnik. Yeah, that guy. And the thing people don't understand, Trevor's been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
He puts in work. Like, he's not my favorite comedian. Like, he's funny. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's got very good material, and he's very well rounded. He'll show up. He'll be professional. He's not gonna piss nobody off.
Yeah.
But he's put in work. He aligned his cards, and he's in that position.
Yeah.
Props to him. God bless. And that's not saying anyone else can't get to him or better.
Yeah.
But it's just, just admire it and then try to
learn from it.
Yeah, just be funny. At the end of the day, that's all you gotta do.
Be funny, try not to be an asshole, and I just try to generally stay in my own lane.
Yeah.
Just work with people that generally are kind of not an asshole too.
Yeah. and I like being there are comedy cliques.
Yeah, there is.
And the
it's
whole
very
scene.
high school clicky, every scene's like that.
And my thing that I've noticed is there's good and bad in everything. And I try to learn from people. Like I said, when I first started, I was working night shift. I didn't really take comedy seriously. It was an outlet for me. My grandfather who helped raise me, he passed. My girlfriend not divorced, but pretty much. But we weren't married. It's just the relationship ended. I moved back in with my mother. I had nothing really going. I was angry. I just signed up for a deployment to Djibouti, Africa, aka Satan's vagina, and I walked in. My friend Saya that I went to high school with, she was a bartender at Cellar. She worked her way up into one of the managers, and she shared JB's flyer. Hey, Cellar Dwellers opening up their first open mic, and I went. I met JB. I met Cepeda, Evan Hughes. He was there, and everyone embraced. They're like, "You were funny." And the first night I went there, I was hammered, drunk, angry, and they're like, "You were funny. Can you come back next week?" And I did. And then I started coming in sober, trying to take it seriously. And then once I learned all the people at Cellar, I got on day shift. Then I went to Hunt Club, and I met Devo and Zach, and they were amazing in their own rights. Like with Devo, when he's on, he's not the best comedian for me, but he's a very good host. Like Devo, Dr. Dustin Devo DeVore, he knows how to manage the atmosphere of the room. Very good, walkout songs, and Brian Bizjack and Nicole Miller, they're doing a phenomenal job taking the reins over.
Yeah.
And I started meeting other people, and I'm like, okay. And then I met the Jeffries at Starlight, and I started seeing how they navigate a room, Laura Cook. And then I'm like, okay, what else can I start meeting the out-of-state guys. Yeah. Now I'm trying to get familiar with the Oklahoma City comics because they're a vibe of their own.
Yeah.
And I just try to learn from that's what just in life, try to learn something new every day and try to help a motherfucker out if you can.
Yep.
If you're gonna address an audience, don't piss them off. Yeah. Don't make it uncomfortable. I remember I went to one show. It was actually during Blue Whale, and a comic. I'm not gonna say names. But there was a couple sitting there, and they were like, "Are you on a date? Is this your wife?" And the dude obviously was drunk, and he's like, "Not really." And then you could tell the woman's now pissed off, and then it just killed the vibe. I was like,
"Yeah,"
because if you're gonna address the crowd, make it funny.
Well, not only that, if you do it with intent, you gotta don't backdoor yourself into a corner, or back yourself into a corner. Backdoor myself on Grindr. And scene.
Yeah.
No, but don't back yourself into a corner with an open-ended question, or you don't ever give the control fully to the audience. You're the master of ceremonies. You have the mic. You have the power. As soon as you give an open-ended question that you're not in control of the answers, you don't know what to do. Or you don't know what's going to happen.
Or you want if you're going to ask a question to where there's no wrong answer, and that you can still feed off on.
When I do an open mic set, for me specifically, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way. Just how I currently write. Is I'll go in there with a bit, maybe 3 minutes if I get a 5-minute set, and then the other 2 minutes I'm just going to basically ad lib or write there, basically, because a lot of roasting or a lot of crowd work is kind of prepared if you know the quote, if you want to break the know inside baseball shit. We're observing the crowd in front of us like, oh, that guy has a green flannel shirt. That guy has a fucking funny hat.
Yeah.
So then when I get up there, I'm like, hey, that guy with a funny hat. And I already have a joke lined up. And people are like, oh, that's crowd work. He's instantly do that. No, I didn't. I fucking thought of it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you want to. That's why I love.
You make it appear spontaneous.
Yeah, like I love to drink.
Yeah.
And I learned this from a country star that my dad did sound for, and this dude had this obnoxious bottle of Jack. And he's taking swigs, and everyone's like, that's a man right there. Long story short, at the end of the show, because I was like, there's no way. Yeah. This man's been, the fucking bottle is 3/4 gone. I'm like, there's no way he drank hard liquor and sang as good. And I go, it's Red Diamond sweet tea. And so, you want to give up an image a little bit, especially like, I'll have a beer to blend in, but I don't start slamming them or doing any celebration shots until after I'm done, because I would beforehand. And I wasn't as good. I wasn't because first thing, alcohol hits your reaction timing.
Yep.
And especially when you're dealing with a crowd, you need to be homed in like a fucking laser beam. Because one small, like you don't say a word too soon or too late, you've lost the vibe.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite male enhancement such as Blue Chew or whatever other names they have. I really don't know anything about the products. I obviously don't take them. This guy over here, Stefano, does, right? You take them? Which one do you take? You don't? What do you mean you don't? Obviously, you don't need. Wow. I'm just sorry, guys. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm just really more impressed that he actually got laid. If you're tired of these fake ads, make sure to reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor Unloading Meat. Now back to the show. Which everything's a mashup now, dude. Everything. Yeah. Dude, did you know that Taco Bell now has fucking like presentations like Apple does when they release a fucking iPhone? They have full on like a fake Steve Jobs guy coming out and it's like, Taco Bell this year, we're at Q3, we're gonna have this.
Behold the Crunchwrap. I would say it's the hexagon of Taco Bell perfection. And what you see, this looks like a regular Crunchwrap, right? Oh, it's not. When you look inside, that is a Cheez-It inside. 16 times the size of a regular Cheez-It, I present to you the Cheez-It Crunchwrap.
Because everything's a mashup now. Everything has to be a crossover. God, that's what sells now.
What is this, like Applebee's getting into fast food?
Yep.
Like, oh.
Dude, I saw that the other day. Applebee's put out a thing. They have burger, fries, and a drink, and it's $10. And I'm like, that's technically cheaper than McDonald's now.
Yeah.
Like
no, Applebee's that it's not good food in my opinion. It's not good food, but their drink specials. Yeah. Like I thought it was a joke. My friend, like, we're drinking at Applebee's. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I go in there and it's damn near same prices at $2 well shots. I mean, I'm like, this is how they stay relevant.
Applebee's is like you step back and it's like, oh, this is 2008.
Yeah,
it's like weird. Like even Chili's is different now. Like, but like Applebee's is still like blast from the past. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, going to Applebee's, it reminds me of that restaurant from Waiting, Shenanigans. Yep. That's what I feel like when I'm in Applebee's. Yep. I'm waiting on to see the staff playing that nut showing game in the middle of shift. No, me personally, I would not. If I'm in charge of a show, I'm not going to put trash with Adam Bush.
Yeah,
that's night and day difference. Both of them are good in their own elements, but that's like putting on a music festival. Like we're going to have Slipknot open up for the Fray. You know, it's not going to be fucking. Those crowds are not going to mix well. You know, and
yeah, it's like when Howard Stern would have like his live shows, his Howard Stern birthday parties, and like they had it's an amazing performance, but they had, what was his name? Adam Levine from Maroon 5 and the lead singer from fucking, Train.
Oh, God.
And they were covering Purple Rain by Prince. And it's a good, like, it's amazing. Like, it's really, really good. But nobody's going to give them the props because it's two pop singers. You know what I mean? It's like...
I can tolerate Train. I'm a metalhead. If you didn't
drop
know.
A Jupiter.
I just went and saw Ministry last week. Like, that's my... And it's... I'd rather Maroon 5. I like Adam Levine. Respect to him as a businessman. He's pretty intelligent.
Yeah,
but fuck Maroon 5. I just want that on record. I can't stand them.
She will be loved.
Moves like Jagger, motherfucker. You.
And we're copyright struck. No. Are you an X-Men fan? Have you been watching the new show?
I haven't watched the new one, but I am an X-Men fan. I've read the comics.
It's my favorite. One of my favorite things. That's what got me into Marvel was X-Men.
I like the storylines of it because they had so many different characters. And like one of my favorite characters from the X-Men series was Toad.
Oh, I just got. I don't know if you can see. I got the classic Toad right here.
Oh, that's slick.
And he has like little toads. Like.
So did you ever read his comic?
So he has little toads on his hands.
Hell yeah, that's a badass little figure.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, like when I read, so when you read about his origin, because I love the first X-Men 1, they had the guy who played Darth Maul as him.
Yeah.
And I was kind of upset. He had a good death, Storm electrocuted him and whatnot. But I read the comic of him, and he was an orphan, and he was growing up, and he can't. Magneto came to the orphanage looking for mutants, and he picked him up, and he took him under his wing. That's kind of how he got formed up. And then right in the series, when Mystique gets fucked over by Magneto, she forms her own brotherhood. He went with her. It was pretty neat. Like that's what I like about the X-Men. It's like you got all these different. You got Nightcrawler again, and they all have their origins.
Nightcrawler is my favorite X-Men. I actually have him tattooed right here.
Right on.
I'm so happy that they actually have him in the show now. Like X-Men '97, I highly suggest you watch it because it's probably the best thing Marvel's ever done, and I'd say since
recent years.
Iron Man.
Yeah,
like it's that. Like the writing's impeccable. It's so fucking good.
I heard they had to compete with Invincible.
I was going to ask if you watched Invincible.
I did. We watched that in Africa.
I love Invincible. I love it. I just showed the friends I smoked with last night. I was telling you about after Cough Camera. Happy 420, by the way.
Yeah.
I showed them the first episode just to say it's kind of like Game of Thrones where it leaves you on a cliffhanger where if you like this show or you don't like this show, the ending of the first episode is going to be like, should I watch more?
Yeah, that's what I loved about because we're a lot of these we're overwhelmed with superhero stuff now. And Invincible, it started out kind of similar to like Spider-Man in a way, but it's not the same cliche bullshit.
They turned it on its head.
And they amped it up. It's like, they got Quentin Tarantino assisting writing this shit. Like, and it's graphic as fuck. Like, and I love it. It's like that old style anime, like the Superman and Batman of the 90s kind of.
Yeah.
But they amped up the darkness level on it.
I love it. I love what they're doing.
I love Omni-Man.
Yeah. Omni-Man's dope. J.K. Simmons as him is fucking priceless.
Yeah.
He's perfect casting. Like it's dark. It's amazing writing. I heard they're making a live action movie of it too. And I'm like, who's gonna play him besides Stephen Yeun? Because like he's a perfect Invincible.
Yeah,
he's so good at it.
Yeah, the voices are so spot on. And there's
Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien.
Yeah, like and then the soundtrack too. That's why I'm like fuck yeah. Like that was that show. Like it really helped me out. Like whenever we were in Djibouti, Africa, and what I do is I'm pretty much a military CDL driver and. We bring beans, bullets, Band-Aids, take units to and from the field.
What branch, by the way?
I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years active duty. I got out for a year. COVID happened. I got bored, and because I missed a little bit of the military aspects, not the bureaucratic political bullshit, but I miss the workloads. It was something to do. It's like, and I joined with the Army National Guard. They gave me a bonus. And it's kind of, best way I can describe it, it's like adult Eagle Scouts in a way. It's once a month, but they deploy. And I volunteered to go on this deployment to Africa because I'd never been there. We were only in the country of Djibouti. I was. And that show, whenever you have a lot of downtime, loneliness and boredom, you hear any veteran talk about it at one point in their career, it hits. And to pass the time, whenever I wasn't drawing or playing Xbox, we were watching Invincible, and I watched a little bit of The Boys. The Boys is a good, well-written show too, but Invincible, it was better written for me.
It really is. I mean, Robert Kirk, it's the same guy that made Walking Dead. This is his spinoff, his second show.
Yeah.
Or his second comic, because it's been written. It was like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
like and it's finished. Like it's a set series.
Well, that's like how Dragon Ball. Like if you actually look at the history, Dragon Ball, the first drafts were written in 1980, 1979, and that's how long it took to get the funding and the technology to catch up to be able to make that into what it was.
Well, it's like people were shitting on I saw a whole bunch of reviews. Like they just finished season 2 of Invincible. And it was like 4 episodes. They took a break, and then they did another 4 episodes. And people were like, "Well, it ruined the pacing of the season. That's why all the reviews were bad." They were like, "Oh, I couldn't get into season 2 because it was split like that." And I'm like, "Did you forget that there was a fucking strike?"
Yeah.
Like they were like Hollywood was stuck for like 6 months with nothing coming out.
Normal people don't understand about that. Like they don't understand about I know that sounds kind of a douchebag thing to say, but a lot of people don't understand the amount of work that goes into building a show or a movie at that. Like Jim Carrey, he did an interview where he was talking about filming the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and his girlfriend had just passed. And the director, he saw how depressed Jim Carrey said, "This is so beautiful. Please stay like that." It's like, that's how fucked up that industry is. Like it takes a toll build, even writing, like voice acting. Like there's a lot of time, energy, and a lot of people who have never been around that. They're just, because Americans are very I want the shit right now. Same thing with music. They don't
gratification.
They don't give a shit. Like when the movie Queen, the Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and everyone's like, and then Queen's record sales have been skyrocketed. It's like, well, this has been out for decades.
Yeah.
You know, there's other shit besides "We Will Rock You" that they did, and it's what's relevant at the time.
Well, it's the same thing that happened. So like Freddie Mercury had died like I think 91 from AIDS. Spoiler alert. But anyway, then Wayne's World came out.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Wayne's World, it has that famous scene where they're rocking out to Bohemian Rhapsody in the car.
AMC Gremlin.
Yes. And that hit theaters, and it launched that song to #1 in like the first 20 years. First time in 20 years, and Freddie Mercury just recently died.
Yeah.
And it became a #1 song again. And it's one of the it was like in the Guinness for a while. It was like a song that came out 20 years ago, came out randomly again for being #1 because of a fucking movie. Yeah. And it's like that's how it happens. Just nostalgia and pop culture kind of takes off.
Yeah, it if you can make it relevant again and people buy into it, it will skyrocket. But yeah, Americans especially. I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan, so I saw the Japanese oriented a little bit, and they're more into that. If it's been out there, they're aware of it for the most part. But Americans, they want what's new, what's hot, what's now. In every aspect, we're one of the most aggressive cultures I have found when it comes to.
Well, I mean, one case in point is I don't know if you watched Fallout yet, the new show.
Not yet.
Phenomenal.
I heard good reviews.
Can't recommend it at all enough. Like I've never even played a Fallout game. I now love the Fallout universe now. Like after watching these 8 episodes.
Well, it's the actor with the cut off nose. I forgot his name. He was in the Hateful Eight.
Walton Goggins.
Yes, he's love
amazing.
him. God,
anything he's in, he's amazing.
Justified was fucking awesome. I loved him.
Justified he was only supposed to be in the first episode. He was supposed to be killed in the first episode. Again, spoiler, he gets shot in the first episode.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be his character, but he was so fucking good that they wrote him into the rest of the series, and then he became like a main lead.
Yeah, he's so fucking funny. Like I loved him in fucking Django too.
Yeah.
Like, he gets shot.
Righteous Gemstones he's great in. I don't know if you watched that. That's a hilarious show.
Right on.
It's on HBO, now Max. They transitioned.
Right on.
They went through a bit of a discovery phase.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite jokes. It kills at Starlight.
Bad.
I'm bisexual, I can say it.
Yeah.
Brett doesn't like this show. Like, well, me and her have things, but we're cool. Again, I say this all out because we're good. I mean, everybody has their own shit. It's a learning thing. I say I'm bisexual. I'm a faggot timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was upset about that.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
And I'll argue that's why I like Brett Jeffries because like the other day
this isn't like a shit talker.
thing. I totally understand it, but like I have arguments with her on certain issues. She posted a joke rant about AC/DC. And there are certain bands, music, whatever, it's been played so goddamn much that you can't stand it.
You're just thunderstruck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I related it to I was like, I see where you're coming from, but you gotta understand AC/DC with Bon Scott, not Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
AC/DC with Bon fucking Scott. That was some breakthrough sounding shit.
Big balls.
Yeah, like a whole lot of Rosie. I'm like. That I'm big music history buff, and whenever that shit came out, there was no one else sounding like them.
So was that Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
that.
So Bon Scott was with them. They did Highway to Hell album. They had written everything for Back to Black, and they were in Australia. They're getting ready. All they needed to do was do the vocals, do the final editing of it, and they got really fucked up.
One phosphorus too many.
Bon Scott decided he needed to go to his car for something, and everyone's so fucked up, they're asleep. Bon goes to the car, and I guess he fell asleep in the car and froze to death. This is where it's the downfall of them, but at the same time, when you're the number one rock band of the world, you wake up, you realize your lead singer's fucking dead, and you've invested all this money.
You got to learn to pivot.
Yeah, so I respect them in that aspect. Yeah. Like Brian Jones, he saved what was left of it, but they were not the same. Once that happened, like every song they did sounded exactly the same. That's where I sided with her, but I was like, and then we agreed. We wound up after the argument ended. We both agreed that we'd both rather step on a cat's tail than listen to Kansas. So like it's like we'll get to a point like her and I have argued over wild random shit like the Oliver Anthony guy, Lord, it's a damn shit, and
that's the country guy that has a weird mask.
Yeah, and I thought it was fucking good because for me, like if it can make me hone in, like especially if it's telling a story, which he kind of did.
Everything's wrestling.
And it was all, and you could hear his passion, and so I'm like, you gotta give props to this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like he thought he's like, I thought everyone was gonna be upset about the Epstein part. It's like, no, you went after fat people and fudge rounds.
Well, it's like, dude, like I don't care. Like we talked about Matt Rife. I don't care about what your genre is or anything like that. If you're putting in the work and you're getting results on it, more power to you. I learned from it. I appreciate that shit. Yeah. We talked about Ink Master. I bring it up all the time when people are like, well, I'm not much of a fucking crowd work comic, or I'm not much of a roaster, and I'm like, that reminds me of Ink Master when you're going for the title Ink Master, and the guy's like, well, I can only do black and gray, or I'm afraid of Portrait Day. Then why the fuck are you on Ink Master?
Exactly.
You should be able to at least do something. Like you should be a jack of all trades, at least be able to dabble in that stuff.
Yeah, because with roasting, everyone thinks you got to be mean.
Yeah,
and that's an option you have, but it's not.
You got to be observational.
It's not the route you can take. Yeah. Like I watched Michael Patton and Evan Hughes. They had a very friendly roast. Yeah. And and then you had Dakota and JB Watkins, and they were going like, it was like watching a Rocky and Apollo Creed. Yeah. Like they were hitting hard. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this, depending on how you go, but I've seen clean comics win roast battles.
One of my favorites was Norm at one of the Comedy Central roasts. Yeah. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
They told him to be like vulgar and dirty. They wanted him to. And Norm's the kind of guy that's like, you told me to do that kind of shit, I'm just going to pivot.
Yeah.
So he went up there and he got up on the dais, and it's one of my all-time favorite Comedy Central roast things. And he just starts reading from a fucking joke book. And he's just like, I'm moving on. And he just keeps doing, he does not let it go. No. And everybody just fucking dying, like, this is the stupidest fucking thing. But he's just like, oh, you want to tell me to be dirty? Go fuck yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's done the opposite. Like, I think Norm was famous for getting banned from the state of Iowa. Because he did a show at, like, some kind of, like college or something like that. And, like, the governor was there and all this stuff. And because it was supposed to be, like, a PG-13 or a clean set, he did, like, the bluest set he's ever done in the history of, like, comedy. And at the end of it, the governor and them apparently was like, get him the fuck out of my state.
Like, I'd be proud of that.
Like, it's gone in the history books. It's like one of the dirtiest things like he's ever done. Like, it's in the annals of comedy history. Like, Norm just loved to play that shit.
Yeah, no, we so at the USO where I was stationed at, they had an event called 11 Delta.
Yeah,
11 degrees, because we were 11 degrees north of the equator, and this was the NCO bar. The ward room was where all the officers hung out, but the 11D, you could they had the USO would host events, and they had an open mic night.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, okay, I can do comedy.
Yeah.
And I see like they bring in the USO will pay, like Ralphie May, Robin Williams. They came with Toby Keith and performed. By the way, R.I.P. to all three of those guys. Yeah. But
you named all three of them.
Yeah. But they
like, you're trying to say like they join a list to go over there and something happens.
Well, like literally, like
is this like a Clinton list?
Well, like Ralphie was talking about, he went to perform and for the soldiers in Iraq, Afghanistan with Robin, and they got attacked with missiles. Like they're like Ralphie's like, they got my fat ass in a bunker. I don't know what's going on. But like like USO will bring comedians. So I'm like, okay, they've had to, like I don't know any of these new guys, but I'm like, they'll allow me to do some set. And I didn't make it. I had the first night I only did it 2 times. They did it once a month, and they expect everyone to do karaoke.
Yeah.
And I go up there, and they're like, "Oh, what song do you want to sing?" I'm like, "I'm not here to sing Journey, dude. I'm here, I do comedy."
Don't Stop Believing.
And they're like, "Comedy." I'm like, "Yeah, stand-up comedy." That's like, I don't know what. I guess that the comedians and the bands, they have their own sound guys come. So these guys weren't ever affiliated with it. They're like, "Oh, okay." And so I wrote a joke that it pissed them off. They shut the microphone off on me. But it was, I was like, well, Djibouti, Africa, the camp we were on is called Camp Lemon Yay. And I'm like, and it's Pride Month. We get there. I'm like, well, welcome to Camp Lemon. Hi. And then they're already like giving me a fuck you look. Like, what's he doing? And I'm like, we're here in Djibouti, Africa. We made it. We're going to be here for a year, ladies and gentlemen. It's clear we can fuck here. They got Plan B in the vending machines. We got the offering baskets filled with Trojans. Everyone's adultery is cool here. I get it. But what I want to know, does Roe versus Wade apply here? Do we have to wait till they fire up the incinerator? And oh my God, dude, I split the whole fucking room in half. So I hear everyone does a what? And a lot of lesbians were upset.
Yeah.
The chaplain was loud. He spat his beer out. He thought it was fucking my sergeant major, like the highest enlisted dude I got to answer to. Which keep in mind, he's a guitar player in a fucking metal band. His favorite, wearing a Mastodon t-shirt. So he's an old school hippie in a way, but he's like
just a fan of the Black Ranger.
He's trying to just be quick, like not show. He's like, and then they cut the mic off on me.
Oh.
And then I come back next month. They had a waiver for me to sign. They made a fucking waiver, and it said, "You will not curse. You will not talk about sex, drugs, fucking this Pulp Fiction bullshit." All that. I'm like, what do you want me to talk about, dude? Like, you can't. I'm not allowed to talk about. Have you been in a military smoke pit? Like the most fucked up shit I've ever heard has been in. It don't matter the branch. You will hear some off the wall shit, and I'm like, what I said is tame. All right, like I'm fucking tame compared to that shit. And you gotta keep in mind, we got fucking Rangers. So we got all sorts of people in this room, and it's like, you're upset that I get up there and said an abortion joke.
Yeah.
And they're like, yes. I'm like, all right, fuck this. I ain't doing it. And so I was like, I bit my tongue. I went away, and I just focused mainly on my drawing, but I still wrote jokes as I went. But yeah, that got me.
Same, like Trash told me something similar. Like his first time ever going to an open mic, he goes up and it's an open mic. He goes up and he gets like 3 minutes into his set and they cut it. They go, hey, dude, this is a music open mic.
Oh, that was at Rabbit Hole.
Yeah. He was like, oh, my bad.
I don't know why that venue of all places to cut off Trash. Like, I went there for an open mic and they allowed comedy. Trash is not at fault for that.
Yeah.
So I've seen comedians go in there while they're doing musical acts part of it. And there's this one gal, I mean, she was built like a barrel. And she was a sweetheart in a way, but she was drunk, fucking, and she smelled so bad. Like it smelled like cat piss. And she's like, I'm gonna sing. I'm like, oh boy. And we're all expecting Taylor Swift. This bitch gets up there and does like Whitechapel. Or that guy. And I'm like, she's about to throw up on this motherfucker. But they let that bitch do full 5 minutes of just nothing. And I'm like, okay, well.
So, was she a hooker? Or prostitute? Sex worker. I'm not trying to shame. I'm just more curious. She wasn't? You went on a date? How the fuck are you getting laid? And how the fuck are you not needing a company like Blue Chew? Who, coincidentally, is not sponsoring today's episode of Unloading Meat. But they could be. They could be. If you're tired of these fake ads, make sure to reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor this show. Now, back to the episode.
I remember Patton Oswalt. He was talking about, this was one of his specials, No Reason to Complain.
Ooh, Patton.
And he was talking about he had an open mic in L.A. and a heroin addict came up and he fucking killed. And he was talking about he was doing
he killed the heroin addict.
Well, no, he killed the root. Like he was the best set of the night because he kept falling asleep. And like damn.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is that joke? And I was like, you occasionally you'll get some asshole like Jaden Puckett. When I first met Jaden, and I hear it because Jaden's very soft spoken, and I heard I was like I was very skeptical, and then his jokes are so it's like Jaden Puckett's comedy. It's like the intro of a Pink Floyd album. It's so subtle, but it's got a constant beat,
got to build up
like a sewing machine, and he builds and because my favorite my goat is Robin Williams, and Robin Williams is very fast paced. Jaden is he's steady. Yeah. He doesn't lose control of you, but I mean he stretches.
More methodical.
Yeah.
Jaden looks like multiverse Pete Holmes.
Well.
Just facially, like
1 hour later.
How old are you?
I turned 29 very recently. And I started looking at, I knew about South Park, but I didn't know shit about Matt Stone or Trey Parker.
Yeah.
And I started learning about their other movies. I didn't like Basketball.
Orgasmo?
That one I kind of, but Team America's
Team
a masterpiece. That's a
Team
fucking
masterpiece. Yes.
Yeah. There's 3 kinds of people: dicks, pussies, and assholes. And if this dick doesn't fuck this asshole, our pussies and our dicks will all be covered in shit.
Then I love like the spoof Toby Keith. Like, what would you do? Asked to give up your dream for freedom.
It was making fun of Alan Jackson. Remember when?
Yeah. I don't do country very much.
I respect. I'm at an age now where I respect country. Speaking of, so I've saw since I've been back, I've seen Ministry, Tim McGraw, Kip Moore, and Blue October last night.
Blue October's a great band. Yeah.
I saw it. They were amazing. This was my 3rd time seeing them live.
Damn, I don't see them. Yeah,
they are so good. But Kip Moore sucked. So he's decent. He ain't the greatest. He ain't the best. For pop country,
shout out Kip Moore fans on this. Subscribe now.
Like I took a photo. Like this is the Tulsa Theater. Like I've seen so many bands, and they've fucking sold this bitch out time and time again.
No, it's like I'm not the biggest country guy. I respect it. I can get into it a little.
This was his crowd.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, I'm like, he lost money. He clearly fucking lost money.
This will be cut, and I say that audioly, so I know how to cut. Like,
yeah.
Do you know Casey Montanino or Casey Montino? They did and he texts me like, I'm hanging out with my friends, and he texts me, he goes, I just did a 7 people, and I go, how'd the crowd work go?
Yeah.
I'm that kind of asshole.
Yeah, no, it
happens like that sometimes.
It does. You just got to
promote.
You got to roll, but like Kip Moore fucking didn't. Yeah. Kip Moore is up there. He sings good, but you could tell the band they're over it, and I'm like, this sucks. I was like, Kip, I want my fucking money back.
Well, we talked a little bit about like the Maroon 5 stuff, like so. A long time ago, I worked for AT&T, and I got free tickets to Maroon 5 at BOK, like a reward for being a seller.
Yeah.
A commissioned sales guy. I got like a reward, 2 free tickets. So me and my wife at the time go to the BOK Center, and I'm like, I'm not a Maroon 5 fan, and it was Owl City, Neon Trees opening, and then fucking Maroon 5 at the BOK Center, and we had good seats. Owl City opens, and I fucking can't stand Owl City, and he goes up, and whoever was their sound design should be fucking shot. Just fucking shot, because it was just like, how's everybody doing at Tulsa tonight? Crickets. Yeah. And then he starts doing this fucking neon light, whatever the light song, whatever, Fireflies, whatever the song is. And it sounds like a garage band. It sounds like trash. Yeah. And so people start leaving already to go to get the food and stuff. And then Neon Trees comes on and it sounds amazing. It sounds 10 times better. Yeah. And then Maroon 5 actually had a pretty good show. And live, they play guitar and stuff. It's a full band. Yeah. And I'm like, they actually can perform. They do a good live show, but it's still Maroon 5 music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's part of the best show I have seen, hands down. I've been with my dad. I met Marty Stewart when I was 16. But the best show I ever saw was 2010, Kane's Ballroom. It was Cage the Elephant, their first tour. And they from them and Hank Third.
Ain't No Rest for the Wicked?
Yeah, they are and I say Hank Third not because of the country, but because of his heavy metal band Ass Jack. But Cage the Elephant, the energy they gave off, and they got bare essential shit. They got 2 orange stacks, a basic 5-piece DW drum set, 2 Les Pauls, and Matthew Schultz coked the fuck up. And they fucking brought the whole. It was like a day to remember when they first started, kind of the vibe. And then I saw them the next year on 2011 with the Thank You Happy Birthday tour, and it was more of a mellow album, but it's just that energy. Like that's like I've seen bluegrass bands.
Yeah.
Like if you can provide that energy, it's good. But like whenever a band, it's like you look like you know. It's like you ever gone to a restaurant, the server, you like this dude's having a fucked up day. It's like, but you got to sit through it.
You feel the vibe.
You don't want to be a dick and request a new waiter and mess up this dude's section, and then he's got there's going to do no telling what to your food.
Yep.
So that's what it was like seeing Kip Moore's band. It's like you could tell they wanted to just pack the fuck up and get back to California.
Well, I mean, like one of the best concerts I ever saw was Metallica at BOK. It was during Death Magnetic.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. And like that album, if you remember, it has like the big coffin on the cover. So when you look at it, and they had gigantic coffins hanging from the BOK rafters, and they would swing during songs.
That's
and they were fucking cool. And it was Kirk's birthday. So like at the end of it, we all got to sing Happy Birthday to Kirk. That was cool.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing was James Hetfield, they started playing One.
Yeah.
And that starts out with him doing the solo.
Mm-hmm.
He fucks up a part of it. And like we're sitting in the pit. Like we're in the fucking pit. Me, my sister, and her husband. And he's like, and he goes, fuck! And it just keeps going. And I just remember that part. Every time I hear it now live, or I hear it like on the radio or something like that, I always remember him saying fuck.
Yeah.
It's like ingrained to me now.
For arena shows, they put on one of the best shows. Like the amount of pyro. I hate Lars Ulrich with a passion. I think he's an overrated drummer. I think he's a fucking.
Agree, but he's a cool live drummer.
Yeah, he did. They did way better than Motley Crue. Motley Crue, I wanted to get my fucking air rifle and shoot Tommy Lee. And he's like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" And I'm like, I'm only here for Mick Mars. I can't, like, I wouldn't fight.
Mick Mars? Yeah, that's a deep cut reference.
Like, fuck you. And Vince Neil, I'm pretty sure he was lip syncing.
I said that. I think I put that on Facebook at one point. Like when Jaden dyed his hair black, I sent him a picture of Mick Mars. I was like, "You look like Mick Mars of Tulsa Comedy."
A healthy version of Mick Mars. Mick Mars, like, god damn, like.
Did you ever watch the Tommy and Pam show on Hulu?
No.
It's actually, I recommend it. It's actually really fucking good.
I like Methods of Mayhem.
Yeah.
That was a good band.
Yeah.
I'll give him props for that. But Tommy Lee just has he's fuck you.
Well, it'll make you be like, man, Tommy Lee was kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like there's no real good person to root for because Seth Rogen plays the guy that steals the tape.
Yeah.
It goes through the whole thing, and basically it's the whole story of like how much it fucked Pam.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you sympathetic to her. Like she went through hell.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, like she was dating Kid Rock, you know, she was dating a lot of assholes. Like, you know, you hear their music and you think like, oh, these guys would be cool. And then you learn about them as people. And it's like, cause like he's like, those guys, like, I can respect your music. I can respect your work, but not all. I've met certain musicians and they're not always cool, like in person. And you got, it's hard. It's shitty when you find out people you really like and you learn about what a fucking prick they are. Like John Mellencamp. John, I've always loved his music. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's something you can play if you got 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds around at a house party or whatever. But he puts in no stare policies, no fucking approach. If he gets in a room with you, you're supposed to, like, Sylvester Stallone's the same way.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And you can't fucking make eye.
Can't help it. I have to look down to you. You're short.
Like it's sad when then you read about people like Keanu Reeves. You know, he's guilty of taking women out for dinner, taking them home. You know, responding to their text, donating to a child cancer fund. You know, you find, and it's like, okay, like I didn't think, or Matthew Perry. I've never really, when he passed, I'm not a friend. I'm a Frasier guy. Like, I never really gave a shit about Friends. Matthew Perry, I didn't like his acting, but him as a person, I give my hat off to him. He did a lot of work for a lot of rehabilitation centers, a lot of Alcoholics Anonymous. It was AA, but without all the religious shit to help people like get their lives back on track. That I applaud him on.
So you did a lot of work outside his circle of friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I can give people respect. So I might dislike. Oh, that amped me up.
Yeah,
Fuck,
there you go.
yeah. I love. I'm just intrigued. Like I love the fact it's you. There's a few comics that are into wrestling very pro much, and like I love.
Like I said, I base everything I do. Like I got my logo, I got merch. I basically like I think everything we do is very similar to independent wrestlers. How we started out, we're looking for we're doing shows for like a hot dog and a handshake.
Like
we're trying to make the network, the connections. You know what
this
I mean?
is better than Richard Gardner's bookstore. Like I love it in here.
I want it to be everything. I again bought all this and some of it fell down back there, but a lot of it's very intentional. I want you to kind of be overwhelmed with this and kind of be like, oh, well, there's so much to look at and kind of talk about. But then you're not so much focused on the cameras and the lights. Yeah. And we can just have a chill conversation.
No, I know.
It brings down that wall instantly to anybody I talk to. It works every fucking time.
Well, it's triggering because I like Orange Cassidy.
Yep. I love my Danhausen Orange Cassidy's.
Kenny Omega, I'm everything here. Like I recognize 80% of this shit, and I'm just like, oh.
I got Transformers and He-Man, and
you got Kick-Ass.
I don't have a Kick-Ass. I will have to get now. They're expensive. I want an Omni-Man and an Invincible. I want the Invincible figures.
Oh yeah,
but they're expensive.
I believe it.
They're like $60 or $70 a piece, and it's like, damn. But they're so articulated. They're cool.
Yeah.
They made a Beast Girl or like a Monster Girl and all that stuff. They have all of them.
I recommend try to get a Kick-Ass because he just got cast to replace Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited because everyone's giving him shit. 'Cause he's married to a woman who I think's like 30 years older than him.
Oh yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, and I'm like, who fucking cares? Like he's got the look, he's got the cool factor.
The dude that moved on for fucking Quicksilver.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that played Quicksilver, he was Jeffrey Dahmer too. That guy, actor, I've loved the progression of him too. He's
from American Horror Story and all that stuff. He's always been a kind of a creepy actor to be able to pull that stuff off.
I think for me the creepiest actor on top of superheroes, Paul Dano.
Yeah,
like
Paul Dano's a great actor.
And the new Batman movie, it was very ballsy because it hadn't been a long when that movie came out. It hadn't been that long since Christian Bale.
I got him down here. I got the Batman display down there.
Yeah, like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
I've been Team Edward since 2008.
Sparkle.
I feel Twilight. I read the books. I genuinely you call me homo, whatever. I like Twilight, but the thing is where they fucked up. They booked Kristen Stewart. They booked her as Belle. Like that's why men couldn't get behind it because she's not attractive. I'm sorry, as a man, even back when I was a 16-year-old kid, didn't know how to work my dick. I would not have fucked her.
Well, it's like 50 Shades of Grey. It's like they cast two people who have no chemistry.
Yeah, I guarantee if they would put Jennifer Lawrence in that motherfucker, that would have been a worldwide phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
But I loved Robert Pattinson. It was a good look. That is the coolest looking Batmobile I've seen since the Adam West had in the 60s.
I loved how his symbol was the fucking gun.
Yeah.
The killed his parents that's been shaped into the bat symbol. That was fucking dope.
Yeah.
It meant something. Like I just love I love writing. I love clever writing. I love shit that means something.
And I like that whenever you remember whenever he hits Commissioner Gore and he jumps out of the police station and he crash lands. Like I love that it's showing he's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because like you see so many it's like they're doing.
That's why I love Invincible so much.
Yeah, and he fucks up too, but Paul Dano, he's like the first. Like I remember him, the first movie I ever watched him in. It was The Girl Next Door.
I'm about to say yeah.
That was
he was the sidekick fair, and I was like, he had like the bangs.
Yeah.
Listen, I know this is unprofessional, but I think you're really cute.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious. Really cute.
How we doing, Clitzy?
Fucking great, man. Let's do this.
He's dressed like Paul McCartney at 14.
Yeah,
and then
he's the nerdy kid that gets laid.
And then you see him in There Will Be Blood.
Yeah,
he plays that wild. He gets beat with a bowling pin by Daniel Day-Lewis, and then he's the Riddler.
Yeah,
and I had a little mixed reviews because I have a coworker at my job, and he's like, I don't like how dark it was because the Riddler, he had a point. So you read the old comics, the Riddler was not murdering people, like having rats gnaw out a police commissioner's eyeballs. And I'm like, well, they're trying to keep it relevant. Like Heath Ledger set the bar so high And not even before Heath Ledger. I feel it was started with Liam Neeson, Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Like that it set the bar where it was so, and then Tom Hardy. The only thing that they fucked up Tom Hardy on was that, shit. That was the only thing I'm like, that kind of.
Well, I mean, they were kind of like if there's videos on there that tell you like the alleged what the script was originally supposed to be. It's like Heath Ledger's supposed to be in the third one.
Yeah.
Like they meant it to be like he was going to continue that story, and like they kind of had to pivot a lot.
Yeah,
scramble.
That they did, but it's still like those characters they built. It was set so high, and Paul Dano, I don't think he got to it, but goddamn, he was close.
Yeah,
he was so close, and I'm anxious. Who's the guy that got us the new Joker?
Well, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is in that.
He, that was his own side deal.
I don't know about the Joker for the Batman universe.
Yeah, that one. That I'm anxious. Like that's ballsy because that's why Jared Leto can't get a whole lot of work right now because he's won an Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, but that was a horrible role for him.
Well, the Suicide Squad in general is a fucking just
disaster.
A disaster because it's kind of like the Snyder Cut, where like it's been edited so much by post production that the director disowned the movie. He doesn't have his name attached to it.
I don't blame him.
He wants, basically, he tried to get a fan campaign going called the Goyer Cut.
Yeah.
To like re-release and let him show his vision, and Warner Brothers never had to do it. The only reason the Snyder Cut happened, the only reason it happened, is because we were in a fucking pandemic, and there was nothing to put out.
Yeah.
And Warner Bros. Was like, hey, there's this fan following, and we have a movie that's like 75% done that technically we can just throw a couple more million on it and finish it and put it out. And we're launching HBO Max at the same time. It was like a win-win-win for them. Like, we have to.
Yeah, no matter if it fucks up.
They were content starved. And it led to subscriptions to HBO Max.
Because like the costume design, I love the looks they gave everybody. Harley Quinn, Margaret Robbie, that was a great look, but her lines were fucked up. Like I'm basing Harley Quinn off the '90s animated Batman.
I mean, that's where she was created.
And it wasn't. It was we're bad guys. That's what we do. I'm like, dude, my fucking 6-year-old watches more hardcore shit on Sesame Street than this shit.
Well, you watched the Suicide Squad, the first one.
Yeah.
And the first 30 minutes of the movie is just a music video every 30 seconds. And if you notice, if you actually break it down, each of the main characters get 2 intros a piece. It goes Harley Quinn intro, then it goes to Deathstroke or whatever his name is, Will's character,
Will Smith,
and each one is a different fucking like licensed song, and then when they get ready to like book the team together, then they go back and they intro each one of them individually and do a backstory. I'm like, we just did that shit. And the Joker, somebody even pointed it out. You can remove Jared Leto's Joker from that story, that movie, and he doesn't affect the plot at all with the final cut.
Yeah, it was.
He doesn't interact with anybody but Harley.
Yeah, it was poorly written for that.
And then like the next one, Suicide Squad with James Gunn one, is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
and Peacemaker's great.
Yeah, John Cena. I'm happy.
I have that up there. Like I love Peacemaker.
I'm happy that he got cast. That he got a niche for it.
I mean, Cena is I honestly think he's one of the best wrestling actors there are.
He is. He's just. He's had to learn how to act.
Yep.
Same with Dave Bautista.
Yep.
Like they didn't you look at their first movies, it was something stupid like a basic tough guy role, and now it's like, okay, can you show emotion? Can you cry on command?
Yeah.
And he's getting there. He's getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Like it's like I love The Rock, but like a majority of it, he plays the same fucking character every time.
Well, yeah, because everything is basically just like you're a brand, and so it's like you're gonna bring if The Rock and Kevin Hart are in a movie, it's just them playing The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, that's why one of my favorite actors is Gary Oldman.
Ooh,
because that he can crack, like in Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Like they never play. They tried to not take the same kind
Did you
of
ever
roles.
watch Gary Oldman and Tiptoes?
I have not.
You should look it up.
I'll have to give it a watch. But like where I first like became fantasized, it was 2 movies. It was The Fifth Element, and The Professional.
Ooh.
Right, but that scene where he whacks Natalie Portman's family, and he's takes a little speed pill, and he's listening to Beethoven as he's massacring. I'm like, that's fucking scary.
Yeah,
'cause I could I work for the government. I could totally see that being my supervisor. You know, like I could. That's why you don't want to piss these people off. Like I I met a gunnery sergeant in the Marines. This dude had a confirmed kill with a Kevlar when he was a 17, because he was in Fallujah, you know, and it's like, this dude's putting pre-workout in with Black Rifle coffee, you know. It's like, I'm not telling this motherfucker something negative today.
Like, well, I look at it too, like, we bring up, like, you know, a lot of the shit, luck and like what could have been, multiverse shit like that. Bring up John Cena there. His first movie was The Marine from WWE. Do you remember the story of what happened with that movie? Like, like, who was originally supposed to be the Marine?
Wasn't it supposed to be like the Miz?
It was Randy Orton.
Oh yeah.
Randy Orton. That movie was based around. So he was a Marine growing up, and he went AWOL and was dishonorably discharged.
Yeah.
And then they cast him in the Marine and wrote this movie for him, and then the actual Marines were like, "You can't have him portraying a Marine. Like, that's fucked up." And so they went with Cena and then started him, and then that launched his movie career.
Yeah, Randy Orton, from they had such high potential for him. He did really good.
He learned a lot. He grew up.
Yeah, he got, from the time he started with Evolution, because that whole faction was built to help build him.
Yep.
And he's done very well. Like, there's very rare boring Randy Orton matches. I do feel the only thing I wish they would have done a little bit more was rated RKO.
Yep.
I thought him and Edge, that's a great fucking name for a tag team.
Yep.
And both of their finishers, they have very quick finishers. It's not like a Batista bomb or like a GTO, you know, where you gotta built in a certain way for it, but it's a finisher where you could do it off a ladder. You could, you know, the possibilities were fucking endless.
Yeah.
That's part of why I felt Matt Hardy didn't get as much credit as Jeff did, because Jeff had better, more exciting finisher.
Yep.
The Twist of Fate is the Twist of Fate, but like, I'd rather watch Jeff Hardy do a Whisper in the Wind off a fucking steel cage.
And Michael P.S. Hayes invented the Twist of Fate for them. Helped him invent it.
Finish.
Yeah.
And it's like Randy Orton. That's the only thing I wish they would have done more.
Well, I mean, like, one of the best finishers, the two best finishers in my opinion, have been any variation of a cutter or a stunner.
Yeah.
And a super kick, because they can come out of nowhere and instantly everybody knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else, and it looks quote unquote realistic, of like it could do damage so much. Because you're affecting a neck. The neck snap. The neck snap is what sells it.
Yeah, like I love Triple H. He's one of my favorites, but the pedigree, it's
too much setup.
It's kind of, it is. That I think, like, for me, the stunner, like
anything that breaks the suspension of disbelief is hard. Is a hard sell.
Or like a surprise attack, like Braun Strowman. I feel like they're not using him as correctly. They're doing to him what they did to the Big Show.
Yeah.
Because like Big Show, when he first started, he was in WCW, and he didn't really, like a lot of the wrestlers who came from their they didn't know how to fucking wrestle.
Yep.
And it got to a point where they portrayed him as a clumsy fucking. It's like, no, like, invest some time with him. Yep. They have with Braun Strowman, but where they fucked it was whenever he's supposed to fight Brock Lesnar. And he hits Brock with like 3 running power bombs, and Brock fucking hits a F5, and oh my god, it's like,
Did you ever see this, like, the one where Braun accidentally hits Brock too hard, and Brock retaliates, like, I'm gonna check you back, bro.
Yeah.
And then Brock's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, you hit too hard, bro. Like, slow down.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that shit when they get real. I love, like, seeing the communication in the ring sometimes, like how they're doing it real. Like,
and I know Brock's caught in a lot of hell because he was asking for that woman to send him photos of her pissing.
Well, not only that, but he was basically like, Vince was just trafficking this woman and tossing her around to the wrestlers, him, Laurinaitis, and Brock.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah, waiting to see it, but it's like, Brock overall, he's been viewed. I thought he was like hated, and honestly, people liked working with him because the F5, it's wild, but it's somewhat safe.
From what a lot of people, like Jericho, even said, like, even I have a lot of respect for Jericho for even like trying to do some of his shoot fights he did, like with Brock. Like when Brock busted open Randy the hard way at SummerSlam, nobody knew that was a work. They thought Brock was going for business for himself and like elbowing Randy hard.
Yeah.
And Jericho was waiting for him in Gorilla about to attack Lesnar. Like, what the fuck are you doing to my friend?
Yeah.
And like Lesnar was trying to get to a shoot fight because thought he was going for business himself and hurting Randy.
Yeah.
Like Jericho took it upon himself to do that to Lesnar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's some balls. And also he fucking choked, or he got in a fight with Goldberg back in the day.
Yeah, Goldberg. I respect what he did.
Yeah.
But
he believed his own hype too much.
He did. He was in like the first dude to expose what a shitty wrestler he was William Regal.
Yep.
Because before
I love Regal.
Before that match, it was just he would come out. He didn't have a match longer than 2 minutes.
Yep.
And then he started trying to. He was basically on his way out, but going to WWE, and he fucking ends Bret the Hitman Hart's career
with a kick.
Like, yeah, like, fuck you, dude. That's the, like, that man set the bar. And I do, like, everyone's like, is Bret Hart really the best? It's like, in my opinion, yes, the fuck he is.
Yeah.
He saved it. He brought people back from the what it used to be. And then, because everyone was wrapped up in Hulk Hogan's bullshit. And Hulk Hogan he's a great face.
He's a showman.
Yeah, he's good for promos, I've never been like, do you remember that Hulk Hogan match? The only match that Hulk Hogan ever did that I will give him is he was the WrestleMania 3 against Andre the Giant.
I will give one more in there, not the Mr. America shit.
I am not Hulk Hogan, brother.
No, the WrestleMania with The Rock, that moment where before they even start, it's just like not even doing a move. It's the first like 2 minutes of that match.
Yeah.
Of just everybody going nuts in that fucking arena. Like the match was all right, but it's a moment. Like,
yeah,
it's like
it was. He had that, but it's like
I've never been a Hogan guy.
Yeah, it's just that you've never.
Plus, he's still fucking racist. I mean,
well, the thing like I loved learning the Bash at the Beach at WCW when
he turned the finger poke, or no, that was the one he turned into WO.
No, he who was Vince Russo. Vince Russo he left WWE, got with WCW, and Eric Bischoff. This was when Hulk Hogan had full control over his character, and Vince Russo wrote that Hulk Hogan's supposed to lose the belt to Booker T.
Yeah,
and they were like, we don't want to do that. We want to lose it to, or we want to keep it but beat Jeff Jarrett. So they changed the shit, and Jeff Jarrett is just Vince Russo told Jeff Jarrett, I want you to go out in that fucking ring, just lay there. And he did.
It was on Dark Side of the Ring. I remember that. Yeah,
fucking Hulk and Bischoff are out, and then Vince Russo comes out like the pissed off New Yorker he is. Yeah. And then they rewrote it, and then it caused some shit. And he tried to sue. This is what I thought was fascinating was the trial. Hulk sued Vince Russo for breach of contracts. He thought he had character control, and the judge is like, "You're upset about a fictitious character." That's how Russo's defense team presented it, and Vince won.
Yeah,
and then he got ostracized, and then no one wanted to deal with him.
Well, it's kind of like the fucking the sex tape that got Hogan in a lot of trouble because of the racist shit he did.
Yeah,
I mean, he's saying that shit in bedside, like after like pillow talk.
Yeah,
like that's so fucked up, and that's like when you're the most honest. Honestly, most dudes are.
Yeah,
after you come, like so, like when he's bringing up like racial shit like that at the bed, that's fucking. Ugh.
Yeah,
and like what I'm getting at is the thing that was fucked up the most is like he didn't sue Bubba the Love Sponge or his wife or any of that shit. He sued Gawker, the company that put it out online, because it got public.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the lawsuit was about. It wasn't like it's turned the whole story into like there's a Netflix documentary like Hulk Hogan versus Gawker. It's very insightful, but it's like basically like he pivoted the story to try to like push the racism down.
Yeah,
of like this is an invasion of my privacy.
Yeah,
and it turned the whole story and spin that versus like, well, dude, you said some really fucked up shit, and also you're fucking your best friend's wife, who's like basically a cuckold in the situation, and they were filming it in their bedroom.
Yeah,
like that's really fucked up.
Yeah, no, like I as a kid, I started watching wrestling when it was about 2001 when I started really watching it religiously, and I watched the interview with Mick Foley. And they played a tape for him. It was Hulk Hogan talking shit on Mick about how he never had a good long career. And he's been eating cheeseburgers and popcorn and shit. Mick Foley's like, I'm sorry, but if Hulk Hogan was to ever have wrestled me in my heyday, he would sound like a whiny bitch in a porno. Because like I gave it my all. That's why I like Mick Foley.
I love Mick Foley.
Like his matches like. That fucking Hell in a Cell with Undertaker, the shit he did in Japan with Terry Funk, like his shit is just memorable. They're like people be talking about Mick Foley for the next fucking 100 years. No one's gonna say shit about Hulk Hogan except the look and the hey brother, all that bullshit. And honestly, we get on the hey brother bullshit. Macho Randy Savage did it better.
So was it like, did they like owe your family a debt or something? Was it like Hatfield versus McCoy's? No. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, how are you getting laid more than I am? And how are you not needing a sponsor like Blue Chew? Which, again, could be a sponsor of Unloading Meat, but they're not right now. If you'd like to change that and stop hearing about Stefano's sexual escapades, reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor Unloading Meat. Now, back to the episode. We talked earlier like how you said like you bring makeup, bring stuff like to set the juxtaposition and like just the difference when you come up on stage. You want that to be like a first date seconds, catch somebody.
Yeah,
I do the same thing, and I'm working out really heavily. Like I think intro music is very important.
It is.
It can set the mood, especially if somebody bombs or somebody has like a good set. Anything like that, it's a reset.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is I like to come up to like female singer pop music, like girl songs, and then they see me, and then that's the juxtaposition instantly.
Yep.
Like I came up to Pretty Woman last Friday
by Roy Orbison.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I basically just riffed on it for a while. I'm thinking about coming up. My one right now is what's it called? What's it? Someday somebody's gonna turn around and turn around,
make you cry, make you cry. So
Ace of
hold, yeah, Harold and Kumar.
Yeah. So I want to basically like turn out like some like inspirational female songs that leads up, and then like I come out and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Or no, you're Oklahoma, bud. You do that fucking Reba. Oh, I'm a survivor.
Oh shit!
If out in Claremore, oh god, and then they look at you.
Yeah. Dude, like I'm sure you found, like, I love all crowds, but like predominantly my favorite crowds so far have been black crowds or like Latino crowds. They just get comedy, they laugh better. I mean, in my opinion, like they're more open to laughter and just having a good time. And like I lean into it. It's like the last show was Juju, and it was a predominantly all black crowd, all black booking, and then me and Zach, Eamon. And I was like, man, I'm not the fucking minority hire here. And I did a lot of like black jokes, so like they leaned into it. And I was like, okay, move on from black jokes. Man, it feels like I've done 3/5 of my set on black stuff.
Yeah.
And one black lady was like, oh, because the 3/5 rule.
Yeah.
And she got it. I was like, see, that's why I do it, because it pops her. She gets the reference. But yeah, like I love the juxtaposition. But yeah, we'll get into here, dude. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
like,
no, thank you for having me. This is a good studio.
I can ramble all day.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Where can everybody find the great Jesse Willett if they want to book the great Jesse Willett?
I'm on Instagram at jwillett918, and Facebook just Jesse Willett. I do draw posters. Taking after Peter Bedgood has helped me craft my skills a little bit.
Nice.
But I draw portraits, posters. I can do like 15 minutes, the longest I can go. Right now, is that's me being truly honest. I'm slowly getting better every day, but I try to make it to at least one open mic a week. There's Hunt Club and Cellar Dweller are my favorites to go for my schedule. It's the easiest, but all these open mics that popped up. I know Isaiah Blue's got one now. Mr. Spencer has got one at Keels. It's doing really good. There's Starlight for the late nighters. Even Bricktown. It is it's an option. It's a good room.
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's hard for me to go because it starts at 7.
Yeah.
And I get off. I do 12-hour shifts, so I'm not really. If I can get there, I will try to. But
I mean, like I mean. Bricktown is great. I had to actually tell them dudes. Like I went there. I was signed up for Bricktown Wednesday, and the flyers said 7:30, but they start at 7.
Yeah.
So I was like, I started out there at 7:10. They said I was late. I was like, oh shit! Like I didn't know you guys started at 7.
Yeah, they start at 7, and that's the only downside for me of trying to be in attendance for their mic. But it's a good room But the main places that I like to test material is Hunt and Cellar Dweller, just because I've been with them since the start, and it fits into my schedule pretty good. But I should be around. I'm submitting to Blue Whale this year. So
I submitted this year too. Yeah,
I'm hoping I can get. I don't even care if I'm a door greeter. Yeah. I just want to be a part of it.
The networking is the biggest part of it.
Yeah,
like get your name out there.
I just want to have fun, and that's what like if comedy is something that an individual feels they want to make that their livelihood. God bless you to do it. But for me personally, I'm just about having fun. There will be some hiccups with people. Some people may agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, me personally, I'm just have fun. Like if there an issue comes up, let's try to find a means to it. If not, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I tell people. There ain't gonna be no Civil War.
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be no World War III. We're gonna get through it. You know, we survived way worse shit. You know, we
don't give in to the hype.
Just believe you achieved, doubt go without.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on. You've had an open invite for over a year now.
I know.
For about a year now.
Yeah.
We hit it off, I think, the Colony or whatever. We hit it off around that time.
Well, my last show, you're like, oh, man, I'd love you having you on your podcast. And I'm like, dude, I'm shipping out to Fort Riley tomorrow. Like, I would if I could, man.
Hey, dude, like what a difference a year's been for both of us, man.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad to see everyone's doing better and growing, and that's the thing, because change is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because I honestly think, dude, I think this Tulsa has the potential right now with the way it's going. It's on a trajectory in 5 years to be like a new Austin. Both for music and comedy.
It can.
If the right players get in the right spots and it gets the great foundation, it gets the right support, it could be.
Yeah, it's a lot of potential. It's just you gotta
do the work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's that some people are like, do you want to do this as a hobby? And it's like you can still put in work as a hobby, but it's like if you're unable to put in the work for a role that you're trying to assume. Like it's same as being double booked for a show. Like people make mistakes.
Yep.
Just be like, hey, I might have bit off more than I can choose. I'm not the person to put influence or direct the outcome of this situation.
Yeah.
This needs to go to someone else. And there's no shame in that.
Yeah, some shit happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's just
we're all human.
Yeah, and also Tulsa right now is a city that sleeps. It's not like New York or LA, but we'll eventually. I see it getting there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's getting in the zeitgeist. But dude, like, thank you so much for coming on. Come all the way to Bartlesville.
I appreciate it. It was nice. The weather's beautiful for me. Like I've been in the armpit of Africa for a year, so seeing vegetation is nice because there's not a lot of greenery in Tulsa.
And you got to see Sting and all of that.
Too. Oh, and the coon.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Cartman from South Park.
Yeah. Yeah. Be specific whenever you're using that accent.
I tell you what.
That'll be a meme right there. I'll just soundbite that. You saying that with that accent. I'll get canceled quick. That'll be on my board next. Just Jesse Willett saying, the cone. Direct quote. Well, on that note, guys, I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. That's Jesse Willett. This has been Unloading Meat. Peace, guys. The cone.